Welcome to OTTOBIANO in northern Italy, 45 kilometres southwest of Milan in Lombardy. After a long break, we're back with a new season, one where Thomas Charrière of TM Racing Factory Team is the defending champion. His main rivals this year, the Czech Pavel Kmar of De Gasoline and Motorsport, and in their second year, Phoenix Racing Team with the German Markus Klaas, the Italian ELIA, SAMMARTIN and the French rider Nicolas, who have all been on great pre-season form. Today, for the third year in a row, the OTTOBIANO Motorsport Park plays host to the opening round of the S2 European Supermoto Championship season. Before we jump on board with Thomas Charrière and ELIA SAMMARTIN, let's hear their thoughts on the track. We're here in OTTOBIANO. It's one of my favourite tracks of the year. It's a really beautiful track here in Italy. My favourite section is, as always, the off-road section. Here they have a big off-road section with a lot of options for overtaking. It's a bit sandy and they're really technical sections with lots of waves that we can choose to ride differently. I love it, and you can make really big gains in this section. This is one of the most important sections of the OTTOBIANO track. This is one of my favourite tracks. It's really important to brake hard at the right moment on this chicane in order to be able to be at the right speed to overtake through this penultimate corner or on the long straight that follows it. And off we go with Thomas Charrière and ELIA SAMMARTIN doing a track preview. Short straight followed by a sweeping right that almost turns right back on itself before straightening up and heading into a left turn. Another short straight and off into the off-road section over a ski jump and straight in to a banked right. Exit that over a small step-up jump and onto a tabletop. Here they head through the next turn, the series of waves. At the end of the straight, the riders pull a 180, heading back the other way over a small single into a 90-degree bank left and over a small step up before rejoining the asphalt on a right-hander through a double apex. Leaving Charrière's favourite section, they head down the straight on tarmac into another double apex, left this time, taking them right over a couple of times before turning into a chicane. They then turn into a long right, followed by a long straight, kissing the curb on the right, then left, and then right again. Down the back straight, leading into the final turn, sweeping through the right-hander onto the final straight before starting it all over again. Following a cloudy but dry day in the practice laps, race day dawned cold and wet. Really wet. No slicks today as TM factory racing rider Thomas Charrière attempts to defend his title from pole position. He set the fastest lap time yesterday of 1:28.80, just a fraction of a second ahead of the German Markus Klaas of Phoenix Racing Team, with Milan Sitnianski of TMS Motorsport rounding out the front row. And they're off as Thomas Charrière starts from pole in round one here in Italy, and we are on board with Giulio Filippetti, currently sitting fifth as Klaas takes the whole shot ahead of Charrière. In the second corner, Markus Klaas falls, leaving the door wide open for Charrière, who takes the lead ahead of SAMMARTIN and Sitnianski in third place. Filippetti remains in fourth as they head into the off-road section for the first time, but as they come over the ski jump, Kmar overtakes Filippetti and finds himself in fourth. Scherer is out on his own, but the fight for second is ramping up with Sammartin, Sitnianski and Pavel Kemar battling it out to stay behind the Frenchman. And as they tackle the end of the off-road sky section, Klaas is clawing his way back through the field and currently holding 11th place. On to lap 3 and Scherer is still leading with a very comfortable 1.5 second lead over the rest of the field. The fight for second place continues as ELIA, Sammartin leads Sitnianski and Kemar. We're on board again with Giulio Filippetti lying 5th as the slippery track worsens. And as we go into the straight, Milan Sitnianski goes long and loses his precious 3rd place to Kemar, leading Filippetti into 4th. With Sitnianski now behind them, Sammartin and Kemar are locked in a battle for 2nd place. But Sitnianski is not going down without a fight. And he goes into 4th place. The TMS Tuning motorsport rider Milan Sitnianski manages to take Giulio Filippetti on the inside as the mud gets thicker. Oh, Diego Monticelli overtakes Hampus Gustafsson to move into 17th place. Back now to the battle for 2nd place, and Pavel Kemar is right on the tail of ELIA Sammartin. And just before the end of lap 7, Kemar manages to streak past his Italian rival. As he heads back into the sky section to chase down Thomas Scherer, Kemar is in 2nd place. Coming round a right-hander on the off-road section, Nicolas Cousin is in 7th place. On the straight, Filippetti is overtaken by Simon Wilhelmsson of Denmark. And here he is, the man of the race, the defending European champion from France, Thomas Scherer, heading around the last few corners of his much-loved off-road section and out onto the tarmac. A lonely lap out in front with no one for company, the TM Factory team rider comes up the final straight to the welcome sight of the checkered flag in 1st place. A look at the results of race 1, and Thomas Scherer takes the win ahead of the exciting battle between Pavel Kemar and ELIA Sammartin. Klaas finished eventually in 8th place.
It was crazy because I had yesterday really bad qualifiers from 7th position. I start from the starting grid, and today is completely different conditions, so it's wet race, so I quite like. And I started, I think, 5, and after I pass until the end of the 2nd position, but Thomas was far away, so I'm happy with the 2nd position.
So a great ending for Kemar, who started from the 3rd row, but moved up quickly and with 5 laps to go pushed hard and got past Sammartin to finish 2nd behind Scherer. Bright and colourful, customised to reflect personalities and to promote sponsors, they help with rider recognition and to save lives. A rider and his helmet, it's a special relationship. When I put a helmet on for the first time, it was a very special feeling. I still remember it as if it were yesterday. It was a helmet that my dad used to wear. I was a kid, and after his race, I waited in the car park for him and put the helmet on and rode my bicycle, pretending to be on a motorbike. Last year I fell and hit my head really hard. The helmet saved my life. It was all cracked, but it did its job.
The first time in my life I put on my head the helmets when I was 7 years old. So this is 21 or nearly 22 years ago. So it's really long.
The first helmet for me was from 7 years. Now I'm 28. It's a lot of years, and I hope that is not my last helmet. Yeah, I'm happy.
A A miserable start to race 2 as rain pounded the already slick track. Charrière takes the whole shot ahead of Nicolas Cousin and Giulio Filippetti. Filippetti, we're on board with him as he fights for third place with Sammartin, and he's now moved in to third place behind Nicolas Cousin, with the pack still quite closely bunched together in the poor visibility. Thomas Charrière creates a gap as he heads into his favourite section of the track, the off-road, into the banked right and over the small step. Back out on the wet tarmac, and Charrière is still leading with the entire Phoenix Racing team chasing him down. Cousin in second. Claas has overtaken Sammartin and Filippetti to take third, and Sammartin sits in fourth. Giulio Filippetti of Team Berber Racing is trying to stick to the Team Phoenix Racing riders in order to move back into the top 3, but the conditions are making it tricky. Sammartin overtakes his teammate Marcus Claas as they take some pretty wet looking corners and into the long straight. Into the sky section once more, and oh no! Pavel Kemar is down, with Diego Monticello narrowly missing him as he gets up apparently unscathed. Through the waves section, and Claas has overtaken his teammate Sammartin, taking back third place. Right behind them is Monticelli, as sadly Giulio Filippetti has crashed out and retired. Out on his own in second place is Nicolas Cousin. Trying to avoid any standing water and loss of traction, he heads back into the off-road section, where he has to keep his concentration to keep his position in the race. Looking out of place this far down the pack is Pavel Kemar, sitting last after his crash earlier in the race, but trying to claw back some places as best he can. Thomas Charrière lying first. An impressive performance so far from the Frenchman of the TM Racing Factory team. He's built up a large gap between himself and the rest of the pack. As long as he holds his position, he should easily defend his title from last year, despite the difficult conditions, which don't suit him, as he can't push as hard as he can when it's dry. This man is having an amazing race, sitting pretty in the number 2 spot, just holding his line and keeping focused. Nicolas Cousin of Phoenix Racing Team was 7th in race 1, but could be on the podium if he just keeps it up. Coming round the last corner and into the home straight is the Frenchman Thomas Charrière, after a magnificent day's racing in some pretty awful conditions. He wins the race in 20:51.61 in the overall classification for the day. A look now at the race 2 results, and Thomas Charrière of France leads the entire Phoenix Racing team of Cousin, Claas and Sammartin to the win. Diego Monticello of Italy makes up the top 5. On the podium now with Nicolas Cousin, ELIA, Sammartin and Thomas Charrière, who takes his first win of the season, but almost certainly not his last. And as it is the first race of the season, the red plate for the championship leader also goes to Thomas Charrière of TM Racing Factory team. Lovely scenes here from OTTOBIANO, with the spectators braving the elements to cheer on their favourites as we draw the first round to a close. Really pleased with my weekend. Not easy conditions. I don't really love racing in rain, but I had 2 good starts and I really concentrated and it paid off. I'm really happy and I'm taking the plate home. I'll try to keep it throughout the season like I did last year. I'd like to thank everyone and see you in Busca. A look at the European Championship standings. Thomas Charrière in the lead with 50 points, ahead of ELIA Sammartin with 38. Nicolas Cousin follows with 36. Claas and Sitnianski make up the top 5. Thanks for watching. See you next month in Busca, Italy for the second round of the Supermoto European Championships. I'm Katie Friend. Bye-bye.